Hello, my name is Cindy, and this is a gentle yoga class. Everything we do is going to be on the mat. We're not going to get up off the mat. If you are uncomfortable on your knees, you'll need extra cushioning, a towel for your knees. Everyone's going to need a strap no matter what, and 2 blocks. This is necessary to have 2 blocks for this class that I'm doing. I like a hard surface under my mat, so my husband very kindly made this for me. It is harder to do this on a carpet without a little bit of structure. You work with what you have. So if you do have a hardwood floor, I do encourage you to be on a hardwood floor. So if you need to stop the video and get what you need or set up where you need, go ahead and do that now. The very first move that we're going to do is a supported fish. You will need your 2 blocks. If you're using pillows or rolled up towels, which you can use, you're going to need to roll them up fairly tight. 1 block goes where the upper back is going to be, and the second block is for the head. Now, in a perfect world, I want you to have both blocks flat. That doesn't work for everyone. In fact, in a really perfect world, your head can touch the floor easily or with ease. If you know you have a neck injury and this is making you really nervous, please pop your block up on the side. In rare circumstances, you may have to have it all the way up. I'm not a fan of this because it pushes your head really far forward. And the whole point of this is a chest opener and to open up through the whole torso. That includes the neck. So you're going to have to decide, because we're not in pain. We're not straining ourselves. If you're nauseous, dizzy, or triggers vertigo, this isn't going to serve you go down just because I said so, right? So make sure you know what you need for you. If you're looking for comfort, I need you to go into discomfort, mild discomfort, but be mindful. Be mindful. Mild discomfort doesn't mean pain. We have to know where that is for you. So if that doesn't work for you, I'm going to set this up flat for me. This first block goes underneath your back. So your sternum's right here in the center of your chest. If anyone's ever taken CPR, this is where we're going to press. It's strong right here. Straight behind it is where the block's going, which means part of the block is on the bottom half of your shoulder blade. This is important. A lot of people put it down on their lower rib cage. Super uncomfortable. If you go lower than that, there's nothing to protect those organs, so it's going to jab into your back. Another thing, your bum, it's on the mat. It is not in the air. A lot of people will come up and lift their bum up, and since I'm not able to come visit you and walk around and check your form, you're going to have to know where you're going. So here I am. My mid upper back starts. I rest my shoulder blades on it, and then my head comes to that second block. Again, you're welcome to lift it up. If you do not need it and your head can go to the floor very easily, that is ideal. I often like to start with my head on the block, and then as my body opens up, I will go to that fully deepened back bend. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Let your feet roll out to the side. Bring your arms straight out to the side in a capital T position. Your palms are up. You're going to feel a stretch across your pecs, which are the pectoralis muscle runs from the sternum over through and attaches across the shoulder joint. So you could feel a little front deltoid. That's what I want. So here we are in this position. You feel supported. Your tush is on the floor. Your bum, your legs feel heavy. They're melting into the mat. Your arms are out to the side. They feel heavy. They're melting into the mat. You can close your eyes, which I fully encourage, and then bring your awareness to your breath. Big inhale. Chest moves. Side rib cage moves. And let your belly move. Your exhale brings it all back in place. Big inhale. And big exhale. Keep going with the deeper breath. Allow your body to melt. If you feel a certain tightness, you need to wiggle or shimmy just to kind of let it evaporate or adjust to allow it to release to it, and then come right back to stillness. Now, as we lie here breathing deeply, allowing our body to melt, you'll note that the tension you had may subside. And if you're someone who feels the tension subsided and you're not really getting as much as you'd like, you're welcome to slide your hands up maybe 2 or 3 inches higher, not much more than that, and then allow the stretch to re-enter and allow the body to regain that heaviness. You're going to keep your deep breath. Your full torso moves as you inhale and then exhale. Options as you feel you're ready for more. If you feel like the chest stretch is all you really need and you don't need more because it's pretty intense, and you think you can go lower on your block, if you're on its side, maybe try it on its flat edge. If you know you can get rid of it and the head can rest on the floor with no discomfort in your neck, you can. I'm going to return mine because it's easier for me to talk. So you're just going to find that place where you move into the space created by the position, this supported fish position. We are going to be here for several minutes. If you're somebody who struggles with being quiet and being present, I'm going to encourage you to practice that now. And one way to do that is just pay attention to your breath. Your breath's coming into your lungs are inflating. As you exhale, the air exits your lungs and your chest deflates. Staying present has such a value to your body, your mind, body. It helps with stress. It's a form of meditation. If you feel like you can go deeper, or now is when you're going to try to get rid of the head block or lower the head block and it wasn't working before, maybe now is when it works. I simply brought my arms a little higher. Just allow the stretch to be there, allow the tightness to be there, allow the body to do what it does to lengthen the muscle. There's a literal chemical reaction taking place where the body sends what it needs to the muscles for it to elongate and get that tension out. We'll take our final breath here in this position. Big inhale, big exhale. First thing we're going to do is slide her down, our hands by our sides. Then you're going to bend your knee. Other knee comes up. From here, I'm going to suggest that you roll off the blocks onto your side. This is not a glamorous or graceful thing to do. It doesn't matter. We're going to hold here for a breath. And then I want you to gently use the strength of your arms to press yourself up. And then once you're up, we're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm just going to center myself on my mat. And then what I want you to do is just move the mats to the sides. Make sure they're within hand's reach so that when you need them, you can grab them. Now we're just going to sit up nice and tall for a brief moment, and we're just going to put our hands on our knees, and we're going to do some Kundalini circles. So you're going to take your body in circles. One thing I want you to watch out for is being really stiff and just moving in one part, right? Think of like a wooden spoon in a pot. And what I want you to do is find bending, rounding, side circles as shapes. You can lift your chest up, your gaze can go up, you can round and come down. Now it's very important that you do this very slowly so as not to enter a place your body doesn't want to be. And then we're going to gently take the same exact circle in the opposite direction. We'll do 3 more nice circles. And when you complete your final circle, I want you to come up to the center, and we're going to take our right hand and place it behind us. Now, if you can't do a lot of twisting, your hand might come out to the side, if not fully behind you. Your left hand will come to your right knee. I want you to inhale, lift up tall through your spine, and you're going to push on the knee and the hand behind you as you enter your twist. You're going to look over your right shoulder. You can look down, but definitely over the shoulder. And then we're going to gently release, and we're going to do the same stretch on the other side. Left hand comes behind you or out to the side, whatever you feel is comfortable. Bring the right hand to the left knee, lengthen your spine with your inhale, and then press into your twist. We'll gently release to the center, and we'll do some side bends. Right hand to the floor, nice and flat. We're going to inhale, lift the left arm up and over, reaching the left hand up. There's a little bit of a lean in the right arm as we come over and continue to reach the left hand over. Think of your bicep by your ear. Then we'll gently come up. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. We lean a little into the left as we reach the right arm over as far as it'll go. We come up. We're going to repeat and add on pieces or angles. Lift up nice and tall. Come all the way over. When you come up to the center, I want you to bend your elbow and let the arm come back. It's not going to go far. And then we're going to come forward at a diagonal. Take the left arm over the right knee. Reach. Again, you're leaning into the right arm ever so slightly. We'll come all the way up. We'll take that arm down. We're going to gently sweep the right arm up. We'll find that lateral bend first. We're going to lift the right arm to the ceiling. We're going to bend the elbow, open up. We're going to take a diagonal. So rotate diagonally, reach the right arm past that left knee. We'll come all the way up. We'll take our left arm up, and then we're going to gently lower our shoulders. So I want that space between your ear and your shoulder to exist, not taken away by shrugging. Now from here, we're going to hinge at our hip with a lifted spine. You're not going to go far unless you're crazy flexible. And then you're going to bring your hands down. Now I have a lifted straight spine. From here, I'm going to inhale, lengthen, slightly tuck my chin, and then exhale with the strength of my body, press towards my crossed legs. Now, not everyone's going to get their forearms down. What I want this to be about is the lengthen and the press, not about folding your face in. A lot of people, when they do this pose, they'll lift up and they'll just cave. Like, I don't want this shape for you. This isn't the stretch. The stretch is a lifted spine and a hinge forward. We're looking. Now, if you can get your forearms to the floor, there might be a tiny bit of rounding, but there's still a heavy pull on this back section, which is all we're looking for. We're going to do one more breath here. And then we're going to gently lift up nice and tall. And then I'm just going to turn to face you, but I want all of us to switch the cross of our legs. So we're going to lean back, pull your core in, and you're just going to switch the cross. I call this the awkward position. All right, so we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to inhale the arms all the way up with our lifted spine. Drop the shoulders down so you don't have that big shrug, and then you're going to hinge forward. We'll bring our hands to the floor. We're going to inhale, lengthen, tuck our chin, and we're going to exhale, press our body tighter towards the folded legs. Again, your spine is long. This isn't a back stretch, this is a hip stretch. So if you're going to round your back, you're not going to get into your hip, and you're just going to stretch your back in what I would call a position we don't need, right? We are shrugging and slumped so much in our daily activities that we really need a lot of effort to stay tall. So lengthen your spine on your inhale, gently press or walk further out on your exhale. Use your breath to deepen into your pose. One more big breath. I want you to gently walk yourself all the way up, and we're going to take our legs to a straddle stretch. So this is one of my favorite stretches to do. If you ever take my classes live, you know that you never not get to do a straddle stretch. So you're going as far wide as is comfortable, and I do mean comfortable, right? So if the back side of your hip is contracting, it's not comfortable. It's giving you a signal, so that's not how wide you're going. I want your toes up. I don't want them curled in. I don't want them round back. If you're bending your knees and caving back, that just means you have really tight hips and maybe you don't need to go so wide. All right, so I need you to be able to sit up tall with a lifted spine, meaning you sort of look like an L. If someone look at the side of you, your legs are out like the bottom of the L and your spine is tall like the side of the L. Now, we're gonna lift our spine up and we're gonna come forward. If you are somebody who has tight hips, this is exactly where you need to be. But if you have tight hips, you're gonna look a little bit more like this because it's gonna pull. Your hips are tight, sitting up is hard. You're going to put your hands behind your back and you're gonna lift your spine up tall. You're gonna think of pulling your belly button forward. If you can do this without the support, you don't need to keep your hands behind you. If you need your hands behind you to get this L shape, this is your stretch. You're done. You're not going forward. I don't care what happens next because I'm going forward. You're not going forward because what's going to happen is you're just going to bring your face in. And then we've got this shape. This is not going to stretch your hamstrings ever. So if you do not honor this shape, you're not going to get any flexibility gains. If you've worked hard and you got here where you can hold this, you will come forward. So all you're doing is holding it. I know a lot of you have already gotten there and have been there while I went on and on about how to get into the tight hips for those who need that extra instruction, which is a lot of us. All right, so all you want to feel is a little stretch in the inner thigh and also the hamstring. We're going to gently come all the way up. I want you to set your feet a little wider than normal and you're going to windshield wipe your knees side to side. Keep your chest lifted, don't slump in your shoulders. Pull your core in, and I need your feet wide. So if your feet are like this, you're not getting a lot of range of motion. You need to set your feet wide and let your knees go side to side. Most of us can go all the way out. Most of us cannot come all the way in. It's what you have. Don't force it. There should be no pain. Perfect. We're going to come to the center, and we're going to go back onto our backs. Again, make sure your equipment is within hand's reach so you don't have to get up and get it. Now, when I started this video, it was raining. Looks like the sun came out. So I'm going to be in the sun for a bit. Hopefully that translates to a decent video. Now, in a perfect world, you need to be able to put your head all the way on the floor. If this is a problem for you, you can put a small hand towel rolled up underneath your head or neck, but I do not want you putting a pillow up for comfort. We need to train the body to be able to lie flat. Pain, not allowed. Uncomfortable, as long as it's not extremely uncomfortable, I need you to let your body be in this natural position. We need to be in this position. We're going to bend the knee, and then we're going to gently bring the knees in, and we're going to hug them to our chest. Bring the knees more towards the shoulders versus the center of the body, and pull. If you want to tuck your chin, you're going to tuck it. Have enough space for a small orange. And then from there, keep that tuck and then simply lift your shoulders. Don't continue to tuck in. That's going to strain your neck. We're going to gently release just the head back to the floor. And then I want you to hold the tops of your knees and you're just going to windshield or just kind of slide side to side. Just a little gentle rocking. All you're doing is giving your low back a little massage. If you go into a place where the back is engaging, just stay out of that area. If none of this is working for you, then you might just be moving one leg stays on the floor. So you need to modify for you. All right, so we're going to find stillness, and then we're going to let the legs come back to the floor, feet down, knees up, bent knee position. I want you to take your right leg and I want you to figure four cross it over the left leg, and then we're going to spinal twist over to the left. So when we come all the way over, we're going to make sure our right shoulder stays down. We're going to grab a block and put it in our left hand, and this is where I want you to take the block and just gently press into your knee, pushing it towards the foot end of your mat. So this is going to pull into that side of your hip that we're trying to get into. Do not hug your knee. This is not a pulling in, this is a pushing away.
Keep your right shoulder down. If you want to look over at your right hand, that really is a nice touch. It just kind of helps keep your back grounded. Now we're going to release that block. I want you to pull your core in, come back up to the center, and we're going to spinal twist over to the right. Now the right foot's going to sit on the left knee and pull into the joint. This is really good if you sit a lot, and you could be sitting a lot for work, for your favorite hobbies, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be a bunch of TV watching. I'm an avid reader. I recently took up crocheting again, so I find I'm sitting a little more than I should. We're going to pull the core in and come up, and we're going to go into our figure four. So we are in a figure four, in our hip stretch with a figure four. You can grab behind your thigh. You can grab on top of your shin if you're really flexible. I prefer to grab the knee and the foot. If you're going to grab the foot, get the foot rigid and pull in. I'm also going to use my left knee to drive the leg closer to my body. Make sure your left knee is lined up with your left shoulder. That is very important. So you're going to feel a nice stretch on your right hip. You're just going to hold this stretch. It's tight. We're going to give the hip muscles a chance to adjust. And then we're going to sort of speed it along. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to release out of the tension. Still hold, whether it's behind the thigh, on top of the shin. If you can no longer hold on top of the shin because you are coming out of the tension, you can shift. Now you're going to gently rock over to the right. You're not in a stretch anymore, but when you gently shift over towards the left, you're going to find that spicy area. It starts to talk to you. And then we're going to go back over into that not much is happening, and then come back over to the left where you're going to feel that tension again. And again, your hand can be behind your thigh, which is where most of us probably are. All right, we're going to come back to the center. When I mean center, your left knee lined up with your left shoulder, you're going to pull in again. Now you should be able to go in a little bit further and the tension isn't as intense. We're going to gently release our feet to the floor. And I want you to set your feet wide. And we're going to go into our wide knee or wide foot set windshield wipers. Do one more each direction. And then we're going to come back to the center. Bring the feet back to our hip width apart. And now our left leg will cross over our right thigh. And we'll take our spinal twist to the right. Once your left foot makes it to the floor, you're going to grab a block in your right hand and you're going to gently press the left knee towards the foot end of your mat. You might feel it on one side more than the other. Our dominant side tends to be a little tighter. It does the bulk of the work during our day. One more breath here. And then we're going to gently release the block. Pull your core in to come up to the center. Take this figure four stretch all the way over to the left and leave the foot on the knee, pulling it into a nice stretch. Now if you want to look over at your right hand, that's going to engage the shoulder up to the floor a little better for your anchor. Now we're going to use our core to come up and we're going to go into our traditional figure four stretch. So reach again behind the thigh, top of the shin, or if you're going to grab the foot and knee, have structure in the foot. I don't want you pulling on your ankle, and then pull it in. I'm going to use my right knee to drive in. Your right knee lines up with your shoulder, come in. We're going to gently release the tension, but hold on to the figure four. I want you to move over to your left first. There's not a lot happening here. And then we're going to gently rock over to the right. That's where the tension is in the hip. And then we're going to ease out of it. Ease back in. out of it. We'll ease back into that spicy, saucy area, and then we'll gently come back to center, meaning your right knee lines up with the right shoulder, and we'll pull in once again, nice and tight. One more breath here. And then we're going to gently release out of that stretch. Set the feet wide, and let's windshield wiper those knees side to side once again. All right, so we're going to come up to the center. We're going to keep our knees bent, and now you need your strap. Grab your strap. We're going to open it up. If you have a strap that has the little loops in it for all of your, to like grab or put your feet in, highly recommend. Those things are fabulous. So I just have a regular old-fashioned strap. That's what we're going to use. We're going to put the strap on our bony structure. That means you can put it on the ball of your foot. You can put it on the heel of your foot. You are not putting it on the arch. Absolutely not, unless you're in an actual shoe with a plastic support that shoes give. All right. Once you have the strap in place, soften your knee, and then I want you to lengthen out your left leg. You're having a little bit of a bend in your knee. How much bend you have in your knee is going to depend on your flexibility. We're going to gently pull on the strap to pull the leg into the stretch of our greatest sensation, right? So we're looking for a nice stretch in the belly of the thigh. You're not feeling it down at the attachment area behind the knee or in the tush. So if you're feeling in the tush, back off. Either bend the knee more, because listen, you might need to be in a very deep bend to get a good hamstring stretch, and then somebody else might be almost perfectly straight. Again, if you feel it here at the attachment site, you are not stretching the muscle, right? We're stretching a little bit more of the soft tissue, right? We don't want to be into the tendons and ligaments. We want to be into the actual belly of the muscle. So we're going to be here for a breath or two. And when I say breath or two, I mean like 5. So we're here long enough to have an effect on the muscle. Sometimes everyone in yoga will think more is more. And what will happen is they'll pull so heavy that their leg starts to pop and kick. That is you playing tug of war. You're not getting the stretch. So back off to the point where you feel a stretch and it's gentle. It could be firm, but it's not aggressive. We're going to take our hand and we're going to go all the way out. The right hand goes all the way out to the edge of the strap, as far as you can go. As far as you can go. So if your leg is here and you can only reach here, guess what? That's where you're going. We're going to put our our left hand, I'm opposite you. Left hand on our left hip, and I want you to open up into an inner thigh stretch. So the leg is going to come out to the side, and you are not letting the left hip pop up. So also, this is what I mean. You let the left hip pop up. I want you to truly be opening up through your inner thigh. Very similar stretch to your straddle stretch. You are not letting the legs, pull away and slip out of your handle and come down. This isn't a stretch. This is a stretch. So I don't expect anyone to have their leg on the floor. In fact, the only person who has a leg on the floor decided to do a toe hold, and I would imagine this video is not even nearly advanced enough for you. So everyone else, strap. Pull the belly in. You can soften the knee to come up. We're going to switch legs. I like to simply steal the strap from the other foot and then get the leg in position before you extend your right leg, because I want your hips neutral. From there, you enter your stretch. You pull until you have the stretch you want. Softness in the knees. Only stretch felt in the hamstring, the belly of the thigh, not the attachment points, whether it be the knee or the tush. Now, when I say tush, it's kind of like right below where you think your gluteus ends, and that's literally where it is. We are holding this one as a big stretch. We get a big, long hold to go with it. Again, your head's on the floor. There is tension in your arms, but try not to lift up through your neck. Try not to make it more than it needs to be. And we're just melting minus our grip working. For our inner thigh stretch, we're going to slide the hand out as far as it'll go on the strap. Hold on with just the left hand. Right hand comes down to your hip. I just want you there as a reminder not to roll over. The leg comes out only until you get a hamstring inner thigh stretch. This shape will be different for everyone. And I mean no one's foot should be on the floor. Right? No one's foot's on the floor. If you compensate to get your foot to the floor, you are missing the whole understanding of what we're doing here, right? So if you're trying to look flexible without actually gaining flexibility, you're going to miss out on the whole gaining flexibility, right? And then maybe one day you do touch the floor, but you want to earn it through length of muscle, not just by creating a whole new shape. Use your core to come up. Once you come up, we're going to get rid of the strap, put it down. We're going to bend both knees, set your feet wide. We'll do another windshield wiper. We're just going to do 2 in each direction, so it's just a brief windshield wiper effort here. And then we're going to come back to the center once you got both sides evenly. And then you're going to go into a knee hug. So bring the knees in. Remember, line them up with the shoulders. Don't come to the center of the body, and then just hug in. We're going to go into a happy baby. I'm going to tell you right now, the space of your body, the flesh underneath your waistband needs to stay on the mat. You can grab behind your knees and pull in. If you can reach out to your ankles and pull in, that's fine. The minute this lifts off the mat, you're no longer doing the pose. If you can grab your feet, go for it. But the minute your deep low back comes up off the mat, you are no longer doing happy baby. That is a very aggressive bend in the spine. I wouldn't recommend it. You're more likely to injure yourself than get any stretch. So if you cannot do this and keep your tush down, you might be doing this. You might just be holding behind the knees. All right, everyone's going to bring the bottom of their feet together. We're going to lower the feet to the floor. We're going to press the feet gently into one another and allow the knees to fold heavy out to the side. Now, this is really tough on some people. And then you just take a little block. This is your option. And let your thighs rest on the block. That might give you the better stretch. Might not need them in so far. This might give you the better stretch. We're going to take our left hand to our heart and our right hand to our abdomen. Your upper arms are on the floor. And you're just going to breathe. And again, you're like heavy fabric draped over your mat and blocks. Gently bring your arms out to the side. Get your palms up, back of your hands on the floor. We're going to fold our knees in and we're going to slide them long. And then we're going to take them wide. We're going to go into a Savasana. Your feet will be as wide as the mat. Let your feet fall out to the side. Get your shoulder blades flat on your mat so your palms are up naturally. I don't even want you rolled to your pinky, and I absolutely don't want your palms down. With your palms down, you have a rounded shoulder. With our pinky down, that's still a lightly rounded shoulder. I want you to literally flatten the shoulder blades onto the mat. Palms come up so easily. You're in an anatomically correct, posture improving position. And relax into your mat. Your breath can be deep, it can be normal. You choose. And gently move our fingers and toes. And start to move your whole foot. Your hands and wrists. You start to bend your knees.